Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Crystal, and today I'm going to talk about all the books that I read in March. Wasn't a lot, it was only four. That was all I could get through. It's been a rough year. If you've watched my previous videos, you know 2024 has been a little rough. But I did read two books at the very beginning of March and then two books at the end. The first one was Beastly Beauty, and it was actually an ARC that I received from Scholastic. I was super excited. This basically takes the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale and kind of flips it around. So you have the Beauty, who is actually this beautiful young lady, and she ends up being the Beast. And you have the the guy who is considered the Beau, and that's his name is Beau. He's supposed to be like this beautiful man. And what happens is our main character, Arabella, she is cursed because she has a hard time controlling her emotions. So instead of being in control of herself, her emotions control her. And so an accident happens and she ends up getting cursed. And this curse, of course, has a countdown, it has a timer. And towards the end of the curse, when all hope is basically lost, our hero comes in. But they don't get along at first. She absolutely can't stand him, he can't stand her. But they end up, of course, kind of falling for each other. But what I like is that this book, it's not just about, oh, love conquers all. It's more of this young woman believing in herself and finding herself and understanding her emotions and working through that. So I really enjoyed this book. It comes out in May, and I highly recommend it. And then I read Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. So in February, I didn't really like The Bride when I read it. Wasn't a fan. So I read Check and Mate. It was her like young adult, new adult, and I actually like this. Our main girl, she is a chess player, and she loves chess. She was like a prodigy, but then something happens with her father, and she gives chess up for a while. And something happens with her father. Her mother is very, very ill, so she ends up becoming the person who takes care of everything in the house. She takes care of her mom, she takes care of all the bills, she takes care of her two younger siblings, and chess ends up just going on the back burner for a while. But then her friend says, hey, I need someone to help me in this championship. And so she goes and she ends up playing a game of chess against like the number one person like ranked in like the world. And he also was a prodigy. Everyone loves him. He's kind of put chess in like the limelight, and kind of put it on the map. And so she's like wins against him, and then people are all about wanting to sponsor her, wanting her to come and be in their club so she can continue to play chess. And she realizes that this could actually be a way to pay the bills. So she's like, all right, let's do this. So she ends up going ahead and playing chess for money, and that's how she makes ends meet. She ends up falling for the guy, and it's just a cute little story. It was pretty short, quick read. I liked it way better than Bride. So I gave this like 4 stars. I was like, oh, it's a pretty decent read. So I do recommend this one. And I might read one more of her books just to kind of see if it's just like a hit or miss, or if it was just, I just hated Bride. I don't know. We'll see. Then I read A Song of Silver Flame Like Night. But I really liked this. It reminded me of, if you like, oh, on Netflix, it's the Alchemy of Souls. It kind of reminded me of that sort of feeling, and I love that show on Netflix, and I really like that sort of mythology and stuff. That's Chinese mythology. So we have our girl. She's orphaned, and tragic things happened. The kingdom in which she's in was overtaken by Atlanteans. Atlanteans? I don't really know how to say it. And they've taken over the empire. Magic, except for their magic, has basically been outlawed. And she herself has like this spot on her wrist that her mom like embedded magic into her, and it's this secret that and there's power inside of her, and she doesn't know how to use it. And then this guy comes along, and he kind of recognizes that this ability that she has might be tied to this like demonic energy, and that's not good. And he's like a practitioner of like the old ways and the old magic that's been outlawed. He ends up saving her, and they go on this quest together to find out what's inside of her, what's been locked away, what did her mother try and hide. And it's her story of basically it's her job to like save this kingdom, and his job too, but it kind of puts them on this path together, and they sort of fall for each other as well. So I liked this book. I can't wait for the second book. It's already out, but I'm going to have to ask the library to order it. So once I can get that in, I will read that as well. And I read This Woven Kingdom. Okay, so I really liked this book. I liked it a lot. This actually helped me get out of like my reading slump. I'll talk more about that in another video, but it's about basically humans and jinns. They live side by side. The devil was a jinn who ascended and reached high and got into heaven, held power, and then he fell from grace. And not only did he fall from grace, but his whole like all of the jinn people did at that point, and they went through hell basically here on earth. And then the humans took over, and they've been at war. There's a tentative truce right now, but the jinn people are searching for their long lost queen, who will basically restore them and save them. And that's our heroine. She ends up she knows that she's the lost queen, but she's living in secrecy. She's hiding. She's taking these jobs as basically a servant, and she doesn't really think she has what it takes to save her people or to do anything to help her people. So she's just hiding and making, things, getting by as best as she can. But then events happen, and she ends up getting found out. And when she gets found out, it thrusts her into the path of the prince of the kingdom that she's currently hiding in. And then this other king finds her, and you sort of have like a little bit of a love triangle. But everyone has secrets, everybody has their own agendas, and she doesn't know who to trust. Who do I trust? What do I do? And I finished this book. I'm now reading book 2 because I couldn't stop. Couldn't put it down. It was great. So those are the 4 books that I read in March. It was a really rough month, but I am excited for April and May. I'll talk more about the books I have on hold at the library in the next video. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.